going on as far as your forecasts. We've got a wonderful stretch of weather. There's two really big weather stories. You probably read the synopsis there. And one of them is the wonderful weather, and that's going to last for several days. But we've got that small window that's going to open tonight, and that's what's going to bring us another chance to see the Aurora borealis, the northern lights. All right, let's talk about this amazing stretch, and I'll kind of dive deeper into what to expect this evening. So, warmer without winds. Temperatures nearing 70 degrees today and tomorrow. And look at that, on Friday, 75. Our average high is 54 degrees, 21 degrees warmer than average. And these temperatures are our averages for the middle to latter parts of May. That's how amazingly warm this stretch in the middle parts of November is going to be. All right, so with that said, let's talk about what happened last night and what could potentially happen tonight. Thank you. Let's first off start with that for sending us all your pictures. Hundreds of pictures of the northern lights from last night. I'm so glad you were jazzed about it, excited, took the time to go out and take a look at it. Tonight, we're not quite as lucky, but there's a chance. There's one last piece of solar energy. It's actually coming through right now. I know it's too light out to see them. So it's going to peak this afternoon. If it holds on for an hour or two, there's a possibility once the sun sets, especially once we can get it completely below the horizon and get rid of any light pollution, around 5:36 maybe, that you might be able to see it. So that's the key. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at, this is going to look not going to look quite as impressive as last night. The storm is not as strong as last night. It was a G4 last night on the scale of 1 to 5. So it was pretty impressive. I mean, that's why we saw it as far south as places like Mississippi, Alabama, the deep south, Southern California. Okay, so it's a G3 right now. That's in the middle. It's still possible to see, more likely with a camera than with the naked eye like we were able to see last night. But look at these temperatures. They're going to be very comfortable. 58 at 6 o'clock, 55 at 7 o'clock. And if it's still around, which is really iffy, by 8 or 9, we're down to 53 and 51. Let's talk about what's going on outside. Look at that. It is 68 degrees outside. And that humidity, oh, so dry, 31%. In fact, you may have noticed, no, probably not because you don't work with me, but coughing a lot. Maybe you are sneezing a lot. The dry air, the dust in the air, really affecting me a little bit and a lot of people I've been encountering with. And that, I'm going to kind of take a deeper dive on that during the weather show today at 6:30. So I hope you can join us for that. Let's take a look at some other temperatures. I mean, look at this. We are anywhere from 5 to 12 degrees warmer. There are people. There are some of you. I'm looking down at you, Garnett, Ottawa, 76 degrees. Wow. Harrisonville, 74. You were 75 last hour. So we're kind of at the heat, the high point of the day as far as the high temperatures go. And the coolest spot I can see, looking around really quickly, is Bethany and Marshall at 65. Our average high today is about 55. So we're running 10 to 20 degrees warmer than average right now. And we've got warmer weather on the way later this week. So look at this. As you head through the rest of the afternoon into the evening hours, we're going to hang out in the upper 60s and then drop down into the mid 50s by about 7 o'clock. Here's one of the keys to the forecast. Not only have we had almost total sunshine and dry air, not much of a breeze. Okay, so the breeze can act in two different ways. If there was a breeze out there, it could take away the warmth that the ground is creating. But instead of taking it away, it's just letting it stagnate. And that's why it's so warm today, is because there's no wind to take away the heat. So it's just sitting there building and building and building all throughout the day till it's peaking right now. So with that in mind, gorgeous evening on the way. Great for outdoor activities, walking the dog, you know, whatever it may be. Going to the mailbox for me. I wish I could clean my yard when I get home from work, but I don't think the neighbors would appreciate me using the leaf blower at like 8 o'clock. But it'd still be comfortable to do it 53 and down to about 50 by 10 o'clock. All right, let's give you a quick look at Thursday. 43, so milder in the morning, lighter jacket I mean, I think we were like 37 this morning. So lighter jacket. Now we've got a southerly wind tomorrow. That should push us up the scale a couple of degrees, maybe around 70, 71. It's possible. And there'll be the drawback tomorrow, a lot of high clouds. Okay, so that will trim the sunshine's ability to warm us. But this time of year with that lower sun angle, might see a sundog. Might see a halo around the sun. Something celestial to keep an eye on. And that would be pretty cool to see. Look at how quickly we warm. 70s at 4, 50s at 9, 60s at 11, and near 70 by 3 o'clock. It is going to be a gorgeous day tomorrow. So let's talk about how long this nice weather hangs around. Thursday today 68 to 70, tomorrow 70, 72, Friday 75, Saturday 73. The only thing you'll notice on Saturday is it's going to be pretty breezy. We've got a dry cold front rolling through, and anytime a cold front rolls through, the winds always pick up out ahead of it. They're going to come out of the southwest. That's going to warm us to 73, but when we get behind it, they're going to come out of the northwest, and they'll still be pretty gusty. Good news, even though it's cooler on Sunday, the breeze goes away. So that 62 will feel pretty nice, especially if you're going to do anything vigorous outside, like yard work or golfing or, tennis or that new sport they call pickleball. I'm kidding. Yeah, our pickleball court. Oh, always busy. And then you can kind of see on Monday, 54. That's our next chance of wet weather. So good news. The entire weekend is now dry and quiet. It's going to be great for outdoor activities. Monday, that first warning is holding on by its fingertips. This has been a tricky forecast, no doubt. When we first talked about it Sunday and put the first one on, I said this is probably going to change. And sure enough, these cutoff lows, and it's a low that's cut off from the jet stream or the storm track, and it just meanders itself. And especially when it meanders through the mountains to our west, it can lose its identity, it can lose its way, it can slow down, it can hang out and take a look at the scenery, and that's exactly what it's doing. So even Monday is kind of looking iffy right now, but we're going to keep that first warn on there for 50% chance of some showers. Let's dive deeper into the weekend. Warm and breezy, 73 degrees. The dry cold front moves through in the afternoon, and that's why we drop down to 62 on Sunday. It's that simple. No moisture with that cold front, just a wind shift, really. Here's a look at Monday. All right, this is the Euro for the weather enthusiast out there. And the Euro's warmer because it brings the low out near Denver and takes it north, and that drags up some warm weather. The GFS, on the other hand, brings it right across us and brings cooler weather. And it actually tries to bring a little snow to Iowa. So we're going to go with the drier or the warmer one. Wishful thinking? Possibly. Here's a look as we head towards midday. Some scattered light showers out there. They continue as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Does that look like a 50%? Well, about 50% of us could receive some rain, especially north of 70. So let's go through our Security Bank 7-day forecast. And again, the big story, mild temperatures, not having to spend a lot of money keeping the house comfortable. 70 today, 70 tomorrow. Look at those lows, 43 tomorrow morning, but then we're in the 50s for a couple of days. Then the cold front rolls through and we're back in the 40s, which is still warmer than average, as is the afternoon high on Sunday, 62. That first warn for Monday, as we showed you, if you live north of 70, you have the better chance. Again, this may change. If I could bet money on it, I would bet that it will change because the models just have a hard time dealing with these lows that have no momentum or no jet stream or nothing solid to push them around. It is looking like once it does pass, whether it's the Euros scenario or the GFS scenario, that we're going to have a couple of cool days next week. Back closer to average, which is actually about 54, 53 by the time we get to next week. So that's a look at your Security Bank 7-day forecast. Melissa, Stevie, Luke, and I are all back in the weather office. We'll all be back there soon, putting together the latest forecast. That will stretch all the way into Wednesday, and we will have it for you starting at 3:30. Sure hope to see you on the television side then. Until then, have a great day.